Hello.
Good morning.
We've got like a fall morning going on.
Oh my, is it raining by you? It's nasty here. It's
Yeah, it's
foggy. Yeah,
it's the perfect creepy low,
right, right,
um,
right.
and apparently Amy, says the same thing. But all the way down in Texas. Nice.
And it is happy fall.
And Renee's been with us on a few Zooms. Oh, and she decided to retire so she can watch us now.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
So hello to Natalie and Robin. We just saw Robin not too long ago. Oh, you know what? And today is the equinox. So, how does that affect all of the earthbound spirits? Do the equinoxes give them extra
I
energy?
don't know. I'm not thinking it. I've never, there was a huge full moon on Monday. I think that would have had a bigger effect than the equinox. So now I have to see if I can stand an egg on its end. Isn't that what you do on the equinox? See if
Yeah,
it's, yeah,
supposedly they'll stand up straight.
that's what it's always worked before. I'm going to try it again.
Going through all of our hellos for everybody, and like our friend Mary down in Tennessee. Um, and Brooke, you got your coffee and your tea.
That's what I would miss living in. I mean, the one Christmas we were down there, Christmas lights on palm trees just doesn't cut it for me.
I would have a hard time doing Christmas down where
It's
it's
hard.
not, you know. So I think, oh, and see, Renee says, you're gonna have to try the egg. I've never thought to do that.
I've
Um,
done it almost every year and it works. I mean, it does work.
oh, hello, Tony, and we got all of our hellos and Mary. Um, oh, and our friends in Saudi Arabia. So we haven't seen Lewis. We haven't seen let's see, Lisa. And I know our friend Sandy won't be with us. She's got some family stuff going on. So we're waiting for some of even more of our friends. It's kind of like our little get together Wednesday morning, recognizing
Right.
all and who comes with us. Though Brooke says she does miss the seasons down south.
Yeah,
You know,
I am a seasons person. I like seasons, so
I mean, I'm kind of surprised the equinoxes, since it's like a shift and it doesn't give any more added benefit to.
I've
Um,
never noticed on any of them. Um, there are certain religions that definitely celebrate all the season changes. And they have big, get togethers for that. And there's always extra spirits in that kind of a situation. But not just hanging out in somebody's house. I've never seen it.
okay. That's interesting. So we have Marianne's website here on the screen. So if you feel the need that you need to order any of the Quincy jewelry, the dream bags, sea salt soap, all the fun things, this is where you would go online and order it.
And I guess we should remind people there is a Mercury retrograde starting next week. It starts on September 26th, then it goes to October 19th. So just a heads up, just a warning, so you know.
So Swifty has kind of our first question, and we'll go over this real quick. If you are new to our lives here, Marianne, you were the inspiration and the consultant for the TV show The Ghost Whisperer.
Correct.
So, if you're joining us and if you have questions about earthbound spirits, how they work, what the difference between them and spirit guides or those that have crossed over, what else? Energy, negative energy, portals, a little bit on the fairies. Type your questions in. Marianne's going to answer you live. We're here for about an hour. Sometimes we go a little over because we get chatty. But feel free to ask questions. Otherwise, we kind of ramble to fill in the space in the meantime. But Swifty kind of has like a first question. It says, Marianne verified by phone a couple months ago that our office building has spirit activity. Could they be responsible for the stench of raw sewage that's been permeating the building lately?
Absolutely. That is one of the telltale signs of a spirit that is earthbound is a foul smell. And that could definitely be called a foul smell. So probably, and it's not a small building, so it would whoever's doing it, or whatever group is doing it, they're having a good time doing it. That happened to one of the stores at the mall after it finished in Strongsville. They kept having a sore problem, they thought, because of the odor in one of the stores there. That store's long gone, but it was one of the big box things, and they couldn't figure it out.
Oh, so it wasn't the earthbound playing with the sewer lines or anything and causing the problems. It was just.
Well, they broke the stuff enough where it would cause it, because they can obviously break things. And so it's not like it was permeating from them. They went to the source and broke it, and that's why. And they were sneaky enough where it took, I bet you, at least 12 or 14 times before they finally fixed it.
Oh, wow. That had to be really costly. I mean, you can't really claim that on your insurance, right?
No. I blamed it on the ghost. Yeah.
Okay. We need that little clause added into.
Right.
Now.
Well, it's funny because if anybody recently has sold a house, on the disclosure form that you fill out for your real estate agent, it asks you, is your house haunted? Has it ever been haunted? If it was, what did you do about it? Now, I don't know if all the states do it, but I know Cuyahoga County does, and a lot of the counties here in Ohio.
So I wonder if you could charge more for the house if I'm like, I had Mary Ann come out and clear it.
Yeah, and then she'd have to be really afraid because some real estate lady was having an open house, and this couple had come through the first time, and the seeds hadn't been up, and they literally went running out the front door. And so she called me. I've done some work for her, and so we got the seeds up, cleared the house, got some seeds up. And she called that couple up, and she says, you really liked it. She says, come on out and take a look at it again. They came out and they said, oh, it feels really good. She says, well, there was a problem in here. She says, and Mary Ann came out, and the girl said, oh, that lady that gets rid of ghosts. And the real estate agent said, yes. And she said, oh, okay. That couple, the husband went around and took the seeds down, put them in his pocket, and took them home. So not too many real estate agents tell them because they're afraid people are going to walk off with them.
Well, that's some shady business right there.
I know it. I bet I won't say which drugstores, but I've done a whole bunch of one of the chains of drugstores. And you walk through those doors, you just look up, there's the seeds right there above the door. It's amazing. If I go in this store, seeds are gone. Somebody takes them down, and they want them up there. So it's obviously a customer or somebody that works there.
Huh. Well, then you have to wonder, like, is the karma then, like, if the customer's taking them home and sticking them up, now they've trapped something and karma's coming.
It's in whatever, what goes. Never know what you're going to get. I don't have to do a thing. Some people just do it to themselves.
Right. Let's see. Marie says, can a crossed over spirit communicate with an earthbound spirit and convince them to cross over even after the light is gone? As in, tell them to go to the funeral home like you suggest.
An earthbound spirit that had some ability to do this when they were alive, yes, they can get information from somebody that has crossed over. But no, the one that has crossed over, I don't know of any time where they've told them how to go. I know they've asked them to leave, especially if it's a relative that crossed over. They didn't want, some creepy guy in their, house. But no, I don't know of any instances of that.
This is going to be all you, because you know how I feel about the whole astrology thing. Linda says that she learned she was born during a Venus retrograde, like 1 out of 10 people. Is there a rock or charm to protect from that bad juju? Is it really bad juju to be in Venus retrograde?
I do not know. I don't know enough about astrology to know that one way or the other. But anything that's going to protect you from negative energy, which would be bad juju, would be a quince seed. And Linda, you know that. I mean, I've talked to you before. You know that.
Yeah, I think one of the few times that I've had my chart done, they're like, you've got 5 or 6 planets retro, she's like, and they're all the big ones. So you're used to having, and I'm
Challenges.
well, isn't that life in general?
That's right. No, that pretty much. Astrology is terrific, and I think it's a roadmap. I mean, they're not psychic. They read math where the planets are during a specific day or time, and they can tell you, be careful on this day. So it gives you, it's like a warning system, just to be careful. But I think numerology and astrology, because of the numbers and the math and everything, I think that is more actually down to earth than some of the other things that people do.
Yeah. Oh, and Sue asks, she was wondering if you've ever had an earthbound spirit try to follow you home after you've seen them while you were out and about.
No, that's not even an option. They My old house where we lived in Worcester, they were in there all the time. But no, that nobody ever follows me home. Mm-mm.
And Jane says, hi, ladies. I have indoor cats and I'm afraid to smudge. Will spraying with sea salt water be as effective as the smudging?
No, unfortunately, it's better than nothing. Um, can you do what some of the other people are doing? Put your cats in the carrier and put them out in the car and park them in the driveway for a couple hours? Get creative. It's really more important and better than the sea salt. If you get the house blessed by an ordained priest or minister, that would probably help too.
And Tony says, hi, Marianne. What do you think of pet communicators? I tried a few and have had very disappointing results. Do you know of any legit ones?
There was one that was pretty good in Brecksville, but she got sick, and I don't know if she still does it or not. I do know of 2 others, and these are not people that I would recommend. So, like I said, I don't know of anybody that is really, really, really good at it.
And the one that I had with the store, like she's kind of retired, but she would actually help people like find their pets and stuff. And
Yeah, well, that's this lady that was down in Brecksville. She was an older woman, wrote a book, a couple books, I think. She's very good. She used to give classes to people to teach them how to communicate with animals. She was really good, but I don't think she's even been around for a long time now.
and one that I know that can do it, and like she won't come out of the reader closet. So it's been a couple years, and I've been trying to like yank her out, but she's just not ready.
The one that was in Brecksville, she was very good. She could tell people over the telephone what was going on with their pets. She didn't, she was very, very good. Like I said, she was a little older, and I think she got sick.
Mm. So Melanie says, how do you ask earthbound spirits to give things back?
Good luck with that. I mean, you can say, where is it? I'm going crazy. Please find it. I need my wedding ring. I want my diamond earring back. Whatever it is. It's whether they feel like giving it to you or not. That's pretty much it. I mean, I was looking for a pair of shoes a few years ago. And, shoes that you don't wear very often, you sort of throw back. I couldn't find them anywhere. And sure enough, and it wasn't just me. I was staying at somebody's house that had a ghost, and she didn't want the ghost to go, so it wasn't in my room. But the shoes that I had taken with me ended up in their refrigerator. And I certainly didn't put my shoes in anybody's refrigerator.
I mean, no sleepwalking, no random.
Nah, I don't do things like that.
I didn't play the practical joke and stick them in.
Yeah, no, because the ghost was standing there laughing, so I knew she did it.
So, and we've kind of talked about this, but Vangela says, I was listening to some mediums, and so many of them keep saying that the earthbound doesn't know they're dead.
Seriously, all I'm going to say is this. You die. You fall on the floor. You die in bed. You die in an operating room. You die someplace. Your spirit leaves your body. Your spirit is as big as your body. You look down, there's people working on you. Or if you're alone and this happens, don't tell me you can't look at your body and know that you're dead. I do not believe in that at all. I think that is totally a bunch of baloney. And I think some mediums or psychics that aren't on the up and up use that as an excuse.
I mean, I would probably lean more towards like the spirits in denial, you know.
Right. Or I don't want to be dead. Or I wish I'm not dead. But yeah, they know they're dead.
That's not me laying there in my bed, in my clothes,
No,
in
no.
my house.
My eyes are wide open and they're blank. Gee, what do you think that means?
So a little bit throwback to smudging with cats. Renee asked, how long do you need to wait after smudging before bringing small pets or kids back in?
After you're done, wait 2 hours, then you can open up the windows and air the place out, and you can bring your critters and your kids back in.
Oh, because here's Lewis. And here's Lewis. Hello, ladies, currently on the train watching podcast update. So it's funny. Our friend Rebecca actually came and saw us at the winery and gave us some updates with the music and stuff. So
it's coming along slowly. Somebody asked me at the winery if I was going to be sitting in front of a microphone to do this. I said, I says, we haven't gotten that far to the microphone yet. I have no idea what goes on with that.
Actually have, some of that. So depending on if we wanted to record in the same room versus doing kind of like what we do now, but, playing with some sound editing. But even some of the big popular podcasts that sound great now, but if you go back and listen to their very beginning ones, they don't sound that great. They've evolved over time. They get better equipment. Adam asks, what exactly is the domain inside portals? Are those spirits trapped there, or can you send them into the light?
The spirits that are the earthbound spirits that are in portals are really negative spirits. And I guess it's almost like a hell for them. They can go to the light. When I go to a house and there's somebody out of the portal, that's an option. I will make the light and watch them walk into it, or their only other option is to jump back into the portal. Have to, half don't. It depends. Sometimes the ones that have been dead longer know that this is just, this isn't worth it, and they'll go to the light. Ones that have only been dead 20 or 25 years, they usually go back to the light, to the portal. Ones that are younger and are real creeps and, oh no, they don't go to the light. They're having way too much fun. They're going to go back to the portal.
Until it becomes monotonous and boring, and then they have to somebody like you comes around.
Yeah, but they can find a new girl any day of the week to watch or whatever.
True. I mean, you would have to hope at some point it just gets boring.
Like I said, the older ones or people that went into the light that had family, sometimes it bugs them and that they finally want to go to the light. And I will tell you this, more men than women I have seen come out of a portal. There are women too, but it's more men. Women never go to the light.
Really?
Yeah, you would think it was opposite.
Right.
But women never hardly ever go to the light. Yeah, one or two, but not usually.
You would think it'd be the other way around.
That's exactly right. That's why I'm thinking, why isn't she going? And no, maybe they have a better sense of, or more of a denial that they're going for retribution. Maybe they think they were so bad that they can't be forgiven, and so they're going to just go back.
Kind of makes you wonder a little bit, like how bad or what did they do that they're so scared?
No, they usually tell me. I mean, women. Most of the women that I've seen in portals, and there was just one last week actually, most of them are husbands or child killers. And I think that's probably why, because of the kids.
Mm,
I mean, that's really heinous, kill
yeah.
a kid. I mean, seriously.
I mean, I think they have the most trouble, if they're alive and in prison. Like
That's right.
everybody in prison hates them.
That's exactly right.
All right. So Heather says, my cousin passed away by suicide a couple weeks ago. So sorry. At her funeral last week, I saw a butterfly flutter across my windshield, and then it continued to do so across other cars at the cemetery. Could this have been my cousin in spirit form coming to say goodbye to everyone?
Yeah, butterflies, cardinals, blue jays, hawks. Everybody seems to have some kind of a little animal totem that one lady, it was ladybugs. And so, yeah, and it's just a reminder, and that's probably what it was. Just slitting around saying goodbye to everybody.
And Amy says, I bought an old Hope chest last week and a gorgeous sofa table. My family thought I was nuts for sprinkling them with sea salt. I don't care. Marianne says to do it, so that's what we're doing.
Good girl. Do it.
Which is a good thing to do if you're somebody that you go to garage sales, flea markets, thrift shops, antique places.
Pick up something off the curbs on trash night.
Yeah.
Not good, believe me.
Oh, hello for our Southern California friends. Let's see. My comments are jumping. There was a question I saw in here about whether or not you've seen children in portals.
I've never found a child in a portal. Never. I don't think anybody under 18, very few people under 18 could be that bad, I would think. But I've never seen a child in a portal. Never.
I would like to think that they haven't been around long enough to cause something so heinous.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I say that now, and then it's always like the universe.
And there's psychotic children, and I mean, people like Jeffrey Dahmer were killing animals when they were 10 years old. So I suppose if he had died when he was 10, he would be a candidate for that. But no, I've never, like I said, I've learned never to say never, but I've never seen one.
So here's a good question. Gina says, from a past Coast to Coast AM show, you spoke of hitchhiking spirits. Can you talk more about them?
Usually truck drivers have really good stories about hitchhikers, and they're usually long haul drivers, and they, truck drivers see somebody walking on the side of the road, they will pick them up. And a lot of these people will, they talk to them, they look like you or me, they don't see anything different. But it's funny. It's like sometimes all of a sudden the one will go, stop here. I want to get out now. And the truck driver will stop. The guy gets out of the truck. The truck driver starts the thing back up again, crests the hill. And just as he gets to the top of the hill, there's a big, horrible accident that if he had been going the speed he was going, he probably would have jackknifed or something. And he looks through his rearview mirror, and there's nobody there. So usually hitchhikers on highways are usually earthbound, but they sort of try to watch out for people.
So Renee says, I heard that if you're born during a Mercury retrograde, you're protected from its effects. My son and husband were. Have you found this to be true?
Oh, I love that. No, I've never heard that. And I know somebody that I'm going to ask about that because now I'm curious. I did look it up one time, and none of us, meaning Ted, myself, or our children, were not born in a retrograde. I was looking that up and seeing if anybody was born on a Friday, because Fridays are supposed to be born on Friday, a long way to go, or children of woe. No, Wednesday is woe, Friday is a long way to go. So, but I was curious about that. But no, I have to ask somebody about that. I haven't heard about that.
I used to have a reader who was like chronically late, except during Mercury retrogrades. And she was born during the I'm like, so this is the only time you're ever going to be on time? I'm like, this is mentally like, no, you're using this as an excuse. Stop it.
I got to give some credence to it. I think there's something to it. I've had too much stuff happen during a Mercury retrograde that I thought I was covering myself and it didn't work. So, yeah, no, buying a car, signing final papers on a house, you just got to be careful.
You know, it's if you are local and if you're ever in the store and if there's something going on, you'll probably hear me say, and guess what? It's not Mercury retrograde. Like, stuff happens all the time. We only pay attention to it. So it's hilarious.
See, that's your little bug. Mine is, our house is built on an Indian burial ground. Or people don't know they're dead. Blah, 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 blah.
Right? Like the whole US is an Indian burial ground.
Everything is, well, heck, I found it from coast to coast. So everybody is, no. No.
Leilani says, lately I've been reading about ETs. I wonder if you could pick up their energy when you visit a house via phone or Zoom. I'm going to throw that on your plate, Marianne.
Mm-hmm. When you have had a visitation from alien, and if they've left anything behind, and I talk to you on the phone, I can hear a really, really weird noise. I can't see them because they're not dead. They're alive. So I can't see them, but I can tell if you had a visit from an alien or not, or if they put like a probe in the yard or something like that. So yeah, can I get rid of them? No, I cannot. Again, they're not dead. It's like the wee folk. They're not dead. I can't get rid of them either.
You can just commiserate.
Right.
Patrick asks, have you made friends with any Earthbounds who refuse to cross over, but instead they maintain a friendship with you and pop in to say hi now and then?
Never. No. No friends with Earthbound spirits. They're not welcome in my house.
Let's see. Coins and Ghouls said, we did an overnight at BD Mansion recently. A light up cat ball came up missing. Could maybe a child spirit have taken it?
Of course. I mean, an adult spirit could have taken it. It didn't have to be a child, but somebody else that was Earthbound easily could have taken it.
We've got a few of our friends saying that they saw you at the winery this past Saturday.
It was a wonderful event. I mean,
nice.
Even the people that didn't come around that were just there having a good time were just having a really good, not obnoxious time this time. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, and for the people that are asking, it was John Christ Winery in Avon on Walker Road. They're a nice staff, and they've got really nice wine, and it's reasonably priced too for as good as it is. So you can smudge with kids or pets. You just have to be careful with kids of asthma, and pets, work around, put them in their carrier outside, or, some animals don't mind or can, like dogs.
Yeah, the only reason I say kids, you want the place to be so smoked up that you do not want small children in that. And again, if you have older pets or you are bird people where you have, your thing are birds and you have birds in the house, that smoke will not be good for your birds at all. That's way too much. And you can't put them in one room and not do it, because that's the room the ghost will go stand in. So you're between a rock and a hard place. You really, and I'm sorry, but the spray smudge does not work, in my opinion.
You're growing a sage plant, because it's funny that you went there, because the next one I was going to show was Marie asking, would growing a sage plant indoors help keep spirits at bay? It wouldn't be as good as dried herbs burning, but maybe a little bit or not really.
I don't know. People have sage in their cupboards to cook with, and they still have ghosts in their house. So I think it's the whole thing is the smoke. I really do. And I think that's why the spray doesn't work, because it's not smoke.
Mm. Let's see. So Heidi says, good morning, ladies. Marianne, the house is nice and quiet again since your visit a couple weeks ago. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so glad. And Heidi, you're one of those people that, how do you explain it if you haven't gone through it? It's really hard.
And Amy says, can y'all imagine Marianne drunk?
Twice in all my years I was drunk, and once was not my fault, and the other time was my fault, and never did it again since. And that was 45 years ago.
One was enough. One was enough at one time.
Yeah. Then I've learned my lesson.
So Lewis says, do your abilities work differently or not as good if you are drunk? Like I can imagine Marianne trying to send a spirit into the light with a wine glass in her hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't even attempt it. And you have to understand, it was a custom in my Italian side of the family that the day I was brought home from the hospital, which back then was probably 7 or 8 days, and they pierced my ears and gave me a bath in wine. So I probably don't have to drink wine. It's probably in my pores.
Let's see. There's so many trying to work through a lot of the conversations everybody's having with themselves, so it's fun.
While you're doing that, I have to show everybody my cup. Dana from Michigan, who has been on here and on Zoom, so people may know or recognize the Dana name. She sent a message to Ted and said, "Oh, Marianne has to have this," and so Ted agreed with her. I'm sorry, did I just roll my eyes out loud? And until I started doing Zoom and this, you know what? I never knew I rolled my eyes before.
So here's kind of an interesting question. Sandy says, have any of the evil spirits seen the hell portal? So any of the negative ones that you've seen, did they mention, like instead of a white light, did they see something else and that's why they chose not to go?
Yeah, there is a choice. And I think that in the good example of that, if you need a visual example, would be ghosts. Because when Patrick Swayze got killed and he stuck around to see why and who and everything like that, that guy that killed him went right to that oily, slicky part on the ground. I don't think it's that oily, slicky, but it's enough of an energy where it's totally black, and the negative, here we go. Negative energy attracts negative energy. So maybe they just have to walk by and they get sucked right in. I don't know. I've never seen it actually happen. I don't think I'd want to see it happen.
It wouldn't be as pretty as walking into the light.
No, exactly. And I have to laugh because when Patrick Swayze finally figured it out, the white light showed back up. And in the beginning of the movie, there was white light that he didn't go to. But he went up into the white light on an elevator. And I'm watching that movie. I'm thinking, now, how in the world could I make an elevator? Nah, just the white light is good enough. Forget the elevator.
Step up your game, Marianne. Come on.
It wasn't an elevator. It was an escalator. I get the two confused. So he just stood in he rode right up into this escalator with this. I'm thinking, not even steps. You have to make it electric and make it move. No, I can't do that.
I mean, now you know what to do in your downtime. You got to learn to
right. Figure out how to. Oh yeah, no, I no, no. Let that go.
So Casey says, a year ago tomorrow, my father-in-law passed away suddenly and very unexpectedly. Sorry. Is he still around?
I can't tell you in this what we're doing on this, but if you've had or somebody has had a dream of him in the past year where he looked good, he looked healthy, then yes, he's crossed over and where he's supposed to be. It doesn't have to necessarily be you, but as long as somebody has had a dream of him. But keep this in mind, it can take up to 2 years before somebody has a dream for the first time of somebody that crossed over. So maybe he's still got a year to go. Or come on Zoom and we can figure it out on Zoom if he's there or not, or if anybody's there.
Let's see. Coins and Ghouls asked, so if the spirit is in New York and wants to go Hawaii, can they go in an instant?
Heartbeat, pure energy, from here to there in a blink. Yes. But that's why they like to ride planes, because they can get energy from all those people that are scared to death riding an airplane.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. So I think our app here is having a little bit of issues because I see people talking back and forth, but I don't see the original question. So sorry, guys, if I'm not seeing it or calling out on it. Like I think Westy's Roll has made a comment, but I don't see their original comment here. So sorry for missing that. Getting lost in translation. And it's not Mercury retrograde.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting.
We have some new friends, Sleeping Collectibles. Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. Marion, I think you're doing well.
We are.
Well, here we go. So what do portals look like? Do they have a color, a feel? Do they change depending on who's coming in and out?
When I am talking to somebody on the phone or on Zoom, when I see a portal, it is like, say you have a white wall. The shading would be a little bit off. It wouldn't be, I see it maybe as a 1.5 foot circle, dot in the middle and go out 1.5 foot all the way around. So it would be about that big. Sometimes I can see them, you know, when you're driving down a really hot, on a hot day, you're driving down a blacktop road, how you can see the heat waves coming off of it. Sometimes I can see that. When I'm there, you can definitely feel it. And almost every house that has a portal, I ask the owners, come on over here, feel it. And I let every one of them feel it before I close it. And they all can. Every one of them can. So yeah, and some people, when they run their hand over the area, they'll get, their stomach will flip. They'll get a headache. It'll feel cold where the rest is warm, or it'll feel warm when the rest is cold, or it feels like somebody's blowing air on the palm of their hand. Or did you ever put the tube of a section from a vacuum cleaner on your hand where it sucks? Sometimes you feel that. It's just, everybody is different. But yeah, you can definitely find it and see it.
So one of our friends here, Gigi Reels, asked if you have any advice for young psychic mediums who want to better their craft and protect themselves and others who they might be working with.
The only thing that I know is that is the biggest problem with anybody who does this, is they never protect themselves enough. And, you know, bring in the white light, wear a charm, cleanse your room often wherever you're doing this at. Like Goddess Elite is totally protected. Anybody who reads in there, you're not going to leave with anybody else. And you're reading, if you're there doing a reading, the person sitting across from you, if they have a ghost attached to them, it's waiting out in their car. So that's good. But if you're doing this in a private residence and it's not protected, you don't know who they are going to bring in with them. And what's to stop? Nice lady sitting across from you, or giving her a great reading, but the ghost standing next to her is going, wow, really like this house. I think I'm going to stay here now. Who's going to tell him no?
I like this wallpaper.
That's exactly right. Wow, that was her husband. What a hottie. I'm staying.
Well, here's a fun question. So, Westies Roll says, do you know anything about the Torso murders? And will you or have you had an event at the Train Museum near the site of the 1930 tragedies?
Torso murders were absolutely Cleveland. That was Elliot Ness. Those were one of the very first serial killers. And so there's a lot of books about the Torso murders, especially writers from Cleveland write about them. The cops brought me in many, 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 many years ago to do the morgue
Mhm.
at the time where it was at. And there was still a head in a glass bell jar in liquid that had been the head from one of the Torso murders.
Is it still sitting around somewhere?
I don't know if they moved it or what they did with it when they moved the building. They moved their location. I don't know what they did with it.
Hmm.
But, and I'm not going to know, I'm not going to remember what they're called. I think they were called World Fairs. Once a year, once a year, a different country would have a fair in the summer. And they actually, because they didn't know who this man was that was his head was. And it was on Lake Erie. They had one of these fairs. I don't know if it was in the 40s, 50, I don't know when it was. And they had this glass jar sitting there. They wanted people to come in and walk through in front to see if somebody could identify him.
Mm.
So yeah, there were a bunch of those that was definitely. I was called in for some of that here. I never saw or found a spirit from them. And I don't know about a train tragedy unless you're talking about the one.
Well, it was a train museum that
Oh, I don't know. Where is that? I don't even know where that is.
I'm going to have to do some investigating.
There
Yeah.
was a bad train accident. Well, by you, Melissa, and there was another one down in Shreve, down in Wayne County, a circus train that jumped the tracks in the swamp. You don't want to be down there around Halloween, let me tell you. It's not the
Maybe
dead,
I do.
it's alive.
Maybe I do.
No, you don't.
You know me. The only place that kind of puts me off is that merry-go-round museum, and I don't know if it's just because it was so closed in, and but that's why I kept disappearing while you were talking because I'm like, man, I've got a headache. I feel dizzy.
Well, that museum, a lot of people got good pictures. I mean, they found ghosts all over that place. So that was probably what was affecting you. I don't know. People were coming to the winery still talking about that museum. I mean, they loved it there. Are you going again? Can we come again? It's like, we'll see. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, before we left that day, they're like, you guys can come back whenever. So it's just be a matter of scheduling it,
Right. And I
do
think
have a
this
place.
time it would fill up pretty quick because I'm going to bet a lot of people will come back a second time on that one. The place was
It's a really cool
amazing. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And I mean, there was a carousel horse that I was standing right next to when I was doing the talk that was worth $450,000.
Mhm.
A carousel horse.
Dead horse on
The stones on them were real. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to pop that little ruby off. Nah, not really.
So, kind of going back to the quick conversation you had about the smudge sprays not working. Somebody asked, what if you're diffusing sage oil in a diffuser? Is that as effective?
I still think it's the smoke. I really do. I mean, you know what? Try it. I mean, you can try it. It's not going to hurt anything, but I think the smoke is what is most effective.
And somebody had said that they had heard or had read that bay leaves will keep earthbounds away.
Never heard that one. Bay leaves have gotten very popular As a matter of fact, I started drinking 2 months ago bay leaf tea with
Ooh.
cinnamon. And it's supposed to be, I mean, it's really good, and it's supposed to help a lot of people with a lot of different things. So, and my daughter that is has her degree in nutrition said, I got to look that up, Mom. I don't think so. So she got back to me and she says, how did I miss this one? She says, that's really good stuff. So,
So Gina says, I know we have 72 to 80 hours of light before it closes up after we pass away. Her part of the question is there alarm or warning signal to let you know that time's up? And
when you first see that light, it's going to be a good size light. I mean, if you're 5'6", it's going to be 6 feet. It's going to be a huge, huge white light. But as the hours go, it starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And yeah, it can get down to about 2 or 3 feet because you could still hop into it. But you're going to know that it's going to start disappearing. You're going to see it get smaller.
mm-hmm. So that's kind of your alarm.
That's exactly right.
Keeping an eye on that. Tony says, can loved ones that have crossed over still visit and interact with us?
All the time, and the quid seeds don't stop anybody from the light. So your guardian angel, your spirit guides, grandma and grandpa, everybody can still visit you. Makes no difference. It only stops the earthbound ones.
Brooke Pat says, I do have a medical procedure coming up during the next retrograde, but I will have lapis lazuli with me. It's one of the blue stones.
Okay, I know that blue adventuring is another one that you can carry, and I think there's an lace agate that works too.
Yeah,
But
lace agate, sodalite.
right, so there's a number of them. Better than that, I mean, yeah, figure out how to way to keep a stone on you, but make sure that you've got a seed taped on you somewhere before your surgery to make sure that no ghosts interrupt or cause problems for the surgery.
Do you find that the old sage, like if they've had a sage bundle laying around, it's a couple years old, does it work just as good when it's burning?
Yep, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay. Jim is asking, how would one go about attracting spirits into a house? My question is, why would you want to?
I don't know. I don't have any idea how to call a ghost. Never done it in my life.
I mean, honestly, you can probably have one in there without even realizing it. And it's only when they become a problem that you start noticing, like when you have a little old biddy turning on your gas burners in your kitchen.
Right, exactly.
So there's a couple questions about some events coming up. We do have one scheduled for March next year. We'll kind of put some info out on that as we get closer. Here in Ohio, so we haven't crossed out of the state lines yet, though I am working still with the place in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, it's in Erie, PA. And there's always something on the horizon. I'm always investigating. I probably drive my poor boyfriend crazy now when watching all of these shows, or we're driving past something. I'm like, what was the name of that? So always working on something. Let's see.
Rome is coming up on the 27th. That's the last one for this month.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Rome. And I think with the holidays and Halloween and everything coming, I think we're probably going to knock it down Zoom to twice a month instead of 3 times a month. Until January when it's boring and we're all stuck in the house with our ghosts. And so
they want a reason to leave.
That's right. And so this one's coming up. And as soon as that one fills, we will let you know which one in October. And on the 24th, I'll be at the Melissa store doing come out and see me, bring pictures. I'll have all my products there. Melissa has all my books. And then I'll do a talk after.
There we go. So yeah, so 4:30 to 5:30 is like the free meet and greet. Come buy your quinseeds, your sea salt, all the fun stuff. And then the paid lecture starts at 6. But Christine Burke says, Melissa, I also was off balance and my ears and sinuses were totally stopped up. So from that museum, the merry-go-round museum.
Oh, yeah. It affected a lot of people differently. That's for sure.
So there's been a few people asking about if they're, and I can't figure out what's going on with the sound here because nothing's different than what I normally do, but I hear the echoing.
Yeah, I know.
Guys. If you think you have activity in your house, the link on the screen is where you can join us for the Zoom sessions. Marianne cannot see you right now, so cannot see into your house to find out if there is something going on. The Zoom session is where it's limited to 25 people. Everybody gets to ask their 2 questions. And this is where she can tell you if you have spirits in your house, if you have a portal, things like that. So if you're interested, join us for a Zoom evening. It's $20. You get your answer right then and there. You're not having to wait for a callback with Marianne. You're still kind of weeks behind, right?
Yeah. Damn. Let's just let it go with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And anybody from anywhere can join us. Just please be mindful of the time change. This happens at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you are in a different time zone, you need to adjust for the time. But again, we've had people in other countries, join us, and that's always a fun occasion to talk with them and, see what they have going on. But Marianne cannot tell you if who's in your basement or could it be, without being on Zoom because she can't see you. You can see us, we can't see you. So Lisa says, would you ever consider making a video or series of videos explaining how to create the white light? Can anyone learn to do it?
I don't know how to teach somebody how to do that. It's practice. It's look at the flame of a candle and try to visualize that bigger stuck on the side of a wall and learn how to keep it open long enough to see somebody walk into it. So I don't know how to tell you how to do something like that. I think everybody can create white light around themselves for protection. I don't think that's that hard to do. Just looks like, just circle yourself in white light, circle the kid's car in white light when they go out so they're not in an accident. I circle a plane in white light before I get on it if I'm flying. So I think but I don't know how to teach somebody how to do that. Just like I couldn't teach somebody how to see a ghost.
Mm-hmm. Pat says, good morning. Have you ever seen an earthbound spirit get up on stage during a play or concert?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you should have seen Phantom of the Opera. Oh, my gosh. The guy that was playing the Phantom had this guy next to him that was mouthing every song, theaters are full. Studios, TV studios, movie studios are full. So yes, they definitely hang out like that.
So Melanie says, what is the correct way to smudge? My house has 3 floors and I'm afraid I'm not doing it right. I don't know how to make it smoky enough. You told me Monday I have a portal and need a smudge until I can get it closed.
Okay. Some people start at the bottom and work up. Some people start at the top and work down. I find that the easiest. You start at the top, you go around the perimeter of the room, open up every closet door, get smoke in there, the hallway, then you go to the next floor down. Now, if you're on that top floor and there's an attic still above you or crawl spaces, make sure you take the covers off and get smoke in those areas. Use a hair dryer to get smoke up high if you can't get into that space. Do the second floor. Don't forget the attached garage. Then do the basement, and again, crawl spaces, under steps, closet doors, the extra bathroom down there, open the door. You have to get it everywhere. And as long as just as long as you are doing the perimeter of each room, you'll be fine. If your smudge stick goes out, tap it on whatever you're holding to catch the ash and relight it and continue from that point. When the ghost in the beginning, it's going to be very hard to keep your smudge stick lit. But the more you do it and the more the ghosts leave or the more lethargic they get, it'll stay lit and it won't keep going out. Then just put it out and use it the next time.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I think the most important thing is to get the smoke everywhere.
It's funny. People will come up and go, how come I have to spin around 3 times before I do it?
You don't?
Because somebody thought they were being funny. and I can't find a feather to do it. Just go with your hand. You don't need a feather. You don't have to say anything. Don't talk out loud. Just do. I mean, some lady was walking around smudging, screaming, ha ha, I'm catching you with the smoke. So you're making your spirit lethargic, but you're giving it more energy by screaming at it. Quiet. Just do it quietly.
This is so fun.
Oh my God, you have no idea. There was a lady that thought she had to say the Lord's Prayer backwards outside on a full moon before she could smudge.
I hadn't heard that one.
Oh yeah, and when there was something good about wearing a mask with the COVID. Yeah, you could still see my eyes, but you couldn't see my mouth because there's something. Yeah, exactly right.
Here's something, because you're Catholic. I'm recovering Catholic. Here's a good question. Melody Bow says, I want to take mediumship classes to get some control over my psychic abilities. However, the Catholic Church says taking classes for psychic development or getting readings from witches, psychics, mediums, and healers are all one of the many reasons why walk-ins and possessions happen to people. What is the truth to this?
It is, anybody can find anything in a Bible to fit their way of thinking. If nothing else, because of the wording. If you lived in this area and thought you had a ghost in your house and you called the Catholics, the main office, and told whoever answered the phone there, you have a ghost in your house, they will tell you to call me and they'll give you my phone number. And do you think the Catholic Church asked me if they could do that? No, but they do. If they're recommending me, I wouldn't worry about it. It's not like you're going to rip people off. You're not going to learn how to do these things to steal from people no, you're fine. And no, that's the cat and the wind behind my drapes moving, not a ghost. It never fails. There's a ghost behind me. No, there's not. It's a cat.
Right. So it's like, what's our topic today? Our topic is whatever you guys are asking.
Right.
That's the topic.
I have some interesting thing to tell you too. After this is over, and after I do the YouTube for 5:30 tonight, I'm going to a nursery to see how I can negotiate buying all of their chicks and hens that they have left after the season.
Uh-huh.
I am going to make up the solution for the little people because people are having a really hard time making that. So I'm going to make it and bottle it and have it available.
Well, now you're going to have to start like a little greenhouse where is it propagating, where you pull the little leaves off and start new little plants? And so you always have your own chicks and hens ready to go.
I'll buy them. Thank you very much. And I can't plant them in the yard because the deer eat them.
Oh, well, little pots. You got a spare room, right?
Yeah, not with the cats. I don't.
Right. No, the few times that I've had cute little plants like that, Sith has gone out of his way to torment them.
Right. It's not worth it. No, it's just easier to do it this way.
I think he's sitting on his.
Yeah, I see him back there.
He's a little black blob.
Blob right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't even tell it's a cat back there.
I know, he's all squished. His loaf of bread on the back of the couch. So what is your video tonight at 5:30 about?
General questions, some dog questions, and it's just, I've been telling some of the other stuff and doing cases, and the letters pile up. So we're going to just do some letters today.
Okay. Is ghost hunting dangerous?
Not if you're protected. You can go wherever you want, especially with October coming up. Everybody's going to have ghost walks and whatever. As long as you have a quinseed on you, you're not going to bring anything home. You'll be fine. Otherwise, I don't know what you'll bring home with you.
Right.
I mean, cemeteries do not have earthbound spirits running around in them. But if somebody is taking a tour through a cemetery with 15 or 30 people, yeah, if there's ghosts hanging out, they're going to come and see what's going on. But do they live in the cemetery? No.
No, most times cemeteries are nice, quiet, and relaxing. One of the few times I've ever saw anything was in one that I would go hang out at. And knowing and looking back now, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it kind of came from one of the houses.
Of course, they saw you back there and they came over. Exactly. Like I said, three of my 3 houses were my next door neighbors was a cemetery, and those were the best neighbors. I mean, it was so nice and quiet. It was wonderful.
Right. Best neighbors to have, I think. All right. So we have our Zoom on the 27th. There is room there. So if you want to know if you have anything going on in your house, please be in the building you want to know about.
Yeah, that's important.
And
we can't have, and I don't know what they're called, Melissa, when you can't, the person sitting in front of something that's not their house. What is that called?
Oh, the virtual background?
Yeah, I need to see in the house. And that blocks it. I this past Zoom, I had the opportunity, but that ghost was right in her face, so she got rid of it. But yeah, I need to see in the house.
Mm-hmm. So even if you sit in front of a white wall,
right? But yeah,
the virtual background off. You just need to have your camera and microphone on when you're interacting with Marianne. There's some other people that will turn their camera off, and I'm sure they're still listening, while they're doing other things. But while you're dealing with Marianne, camera, microphone on. So we have the 27th. You have your video tonight on at 5:30. You will be in store at Goddess Elite on the 24th. Here we go. So if you need to contact the store, there's our website. Otherwise,
you're taking reservations for the talk, correct?
Yes, because it is limited.
And nobody under 18 for the talk. Bring the kids in earlier if they want to talk to me, but not for the talk.
Mm-hmm. Kind of go over some topics that little kids may not need to hear. Okay. Well, Marianne, you got any last minute news before?
No, I think everything is going okay.
Can I figure out why I have this annoying echo? Because I can't figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know why.
So sorry, guys. I know it's there. I've been tinkering and playing with things. That's why I keep looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, because nothing is different than what I normally do. So.
And your house is clear. Forget the Mercury retrograde. Your house is clear. Mm-hmm. So it's not from that.
Right. It's just dimensional, right?
That's right. What did my mother-in-law used to say? Something. Oh gosh, what did she say about the sky, Ted? Your mom? Oh, I'll have to remember what that was. It was some kind of she used to think that it was I don't know what she thought it was. I don't even know why I said that. I think it's time to get off. Gone. Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. And if you're new, we do this every Wednesday morning at 10, and you can always go back and watch the old ones too on both of our channels. So obviously you're probably on Marianne's channel, and then the store channel is Goddess Elite New Age. It's a long one, I know, but there was already a Goddess Elite out there somewhere. Not mine.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's why mine had to get a little longer. Just to make sure it's us, but you'll know it's the right one when you see the front of the store with the big purple sign, there, so it's ours. But Is this the talk? No, it's 10. The talk in the store starts at 6 on the 24th, and that's October, not September. It's October 24th.
No, that would be in 2 days. No,
Right.
October. Yeah, October.
Drink some more coffee, get my hamster wheels moving.
Right.
24th in the store. But hopefully everybody joins us again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good week.